In today's video, pasta with sausage and broccoli. When I found this recipe on the Blackstone YouTube channel, I knew I had to make it. Growing up, I always ate pasta with broccoli. When I saw this recipe that added sausage to it and also used tortellini, I knew I wanted to try it. If you're looking for an easy weeknight meal for your new Blackstone, this is the recipe to try. I promise you're gonna love it. So for this recipe, I used 6 sausage links. Going forward, if I know I'm gonna make this dish, I'll buy sausage that's already ground without the casing. However, it's not a big deal if you have links. It was easy to remove. It just added a little bit more to the prep time. I also used about 5 to 6 garlic cloves and chopped them up. And once again, the broccoli, I just approximated. I believe she said she used 1 broccoli head. However, I used a large 3-pound bag from Costco. It's broccoli florets, and I used about half the bag. If I had to guess, it was probably 2 large broccoli heads. The recipe also called for chicken stock. I didn't have any on hand. However, I did have better than bouillon, and I made 2 cups worth. So this recipe I found on Blackstone's actual YouTube channel, and she used, I believe her name is Betty, she used what they call Locatelli cheese, which is a very popular cheese in the Northeast. At least they probably sell it nationally, I just don't know. However, I grew up with that cheese in the home, and I happen to have some on hand. However, you can use any grated cheese that you have. Just make sure it's something that you like and that will make your dish taste delicious. In a previous video, I said I was going to use avocado to cook, avocado oil that is. However, if I'm cooking on a lower heat, I don't mind using olive oil. So as far as spices go, I'm just using what I have on hand, which actually brings up a good question. If you have go-to spices for burgers, meats, pastas, what have you, I would love to hear about it in the comments. I've used salt and pepper, some garlic powder, and some Italian seasonings for this recipe. I also use this Cajun seasoning that I've been using for a decade. Tony, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it, Tony Cashier's original Creole seasoning. If you're curious to know what it's good on, it's great on everything, according to Tony. As you can see, I used the left-hand side of the griddle for the sausage. I gave the sausage a few minutes head start and used the right-hand side of the griddle for the broccoli. All 4 burners are on low. After 4 or 5 minutes or so, I decided to go ahead and combine it, and then I began adding all the ingredients. This is a good opportunity to go ahead and season the dish. However, you could have seasoned the broccoli when it was on its own. I feel like broccoli is the blandest of all the ingredients, and sometimes I feel like I'd rather have the broccoli get all the seasoning. And then, of course, as you go on, we're gonna season it with cheese and whatnot. However, that's just, I'm not a chef, professional chef, sometimes that's what I do. So I went ahead and added the garlic. I added in some olive oil. I added in the chicken broth and the grated cheese. Now that we've mixed everything together, I gave it about 5 minutes to let the pasta cook. Now I'm using fresh pasta that didn't need to be boiled. However, like I mentioned earlier, that you can go ahead and boil pasta like a penne pasta or rigatoni or orecchiette pasta. You can go ahead and boil that ahead of time and then just substitute the tortellini for that pasta. I purposely did not make this dish spicy. However, if I was making it just for myself or my wife and I would have. The kids were gonna have some, but I left out chopped red pepper, or crushed red pepper rather, any kind of hot sauces and things like that. But feel free to go ahead and add those in. You could go ahead and also add them at the end. I was thinking after the fact I could have drizzled some pesto sauce onto it. Make it your own. There's definitely some things you could do to the dish to make it a little bit more unique to what your tastes are. So now that we've plated the dish, it's time to eat. If you want to know what I'm cooking up next, join me in the next video.